What up, fam? Back with another video. Today's video, I just want to kind of talk about things you can do to submit a strong or stronger packet if it's your second, third, or fourth time trying to be selected for Officer Candidate School, Warrant Officer Candidate School, Green to Gold, any of the AMEDD programs, so on and so forth. So these are just some things that I've gathered in my analysis over my past 4 or 5 years of applying to programs multiple times, and things that if I would have known back then, maybe I could have presented a strong packet the first time around. So I'm in this Officer Candidate School Facebook group, and the results came out last week. And obviously a lot of people were chosen, a lot of people weren't. And there were a lot of people expressing their frustrations in this group, like, well, dang, they don't even tell us why we didn't get picked. Any type of feedback would have been great. It's so messed up. We put all this time and this effort into these packets, and they don't even tell us like what was wrong about us or what didn't stand out in our packets. So I want to give some perspective. Again, this is just my 4 years worth of analysis, 4+ years, really. If you think about it, a panel for like Officer Candidate School is like 5 board members, and they all come together once a year, whoever these people are that are chosen from the Army gods or whatever, and HRC will tell them, okay, this year we can choose 100 people. So put that in perspective. If they got 500 packets, let's say, and they can only choose 100 people, they have to start sorting through. And depending on the board member, they have their own personal philosophy of what they feel like would make the best selected candidate, if you will. So one board member might favor drill sergeants and recruiters. Another board member might think that you need a high GPA. Another board member might be a PT stud and thinks that those higher PT scores warrant higher up on the OML. So after they select 100 people, there's no way that they can send those other 400 people feedback on why they weren't selected. It's just kind of where you fell in everybody's own personal philosophy. So, moving on. If you want to look up the new MILPER message for Officer Candidate School, it just dropped on the 27th of September, and see how things have changed. That's MILPER message 23-397. So I'll tell you a couple of the big things off the rip is they went back to you need a bachelor's degree to apply for OCS. Last year they said you only needed 90 credit hours. This year they bumped it back up to they want you to have the full bachelor's degree, the full 120 credits. They also took away the time and service waiver. So if you have more than 10 years of active federal service, you can't even apply this go around. Like the last few go rounds, you were allowed to apply and submit a waiver. This time they said no more time and service waivers. But with that being said, because that has a lot of people's upset, the requirements change every single year, and this MILPER message is only good for 1 year. So next year there's going to be a new MILPER message with new requirements based on the needs of the Army and all that. Moving forward, some things to make your packet stronger. First thing on my list is your letters of recommendation. So traditionally, whatever school you're applying for will say, I want one from your commander, I want one from your first line supervisor, and the other 3 you can choose, for a total of 5. It was kind of like that for OCS and some of my AMEDD programs. But what I want to say about letters of recommendation is this: the higher the ranking, the better. I don't care if your platoon sergeant, who happens to be a staff sergeant, wrote you the grandest letter and made you sound like you're the cream of the crop and the best soldier on earth. If that letter is coming from a staff sergeant as opposed to a full bird colonel, which one do you think holds more weight? They could say the same thing, but I guarantee you the letter from that high-ranking officer is going to hold more weight. So always strive to get the highest rank possible on all of your letters of recommendation. If you're saying to yourself, well, I don't know any 06s or full bird colonels or any people in high-ranking positions, this is what you do. You go and see their aide, and then you ask to get on their calendar so you can have an allotted time to sit down, meet with this officer or whoever this high-ranking person is, tell them your vision, tell them your goals, tell them why you think you're worthy, and then ask them, will they write you a letter of recommendation? And a lot of times they'll say, you know what? I kind of like what you're going after. You write the letter and I'll sign it. Boom, it's a win-win. You can write your own letter and they'll sign it, and you have the endorsement and gone. So the next thing on my list of how to make a stronger packet is your letter of intent, which is why you want to do said program. Or like for Officer Candidate School, we had to write an essay of why I want to be an Army officer. Judging off of my own letters of intent over the years, as opposed to the one I submitted this last time and was selected, I can tell you the way I was speaking in my letters was so passive. I was talking about, oh, when I become an officer, I'll do this. When I get in the position, I'll do that. This last go round, I was talking like I was already there. I'm already doing these things. This is how I can contribute to the officer corps. This is what I bring. Not so much as that, oh, when I get to the rank, this is what I'm going to do. They already want leaders who are ready for the position. You haven't been sent to training, but ultimately, they want to know you're ready for the position before they even give you the opportunity to fill it. So be objective in those letters of intent and those essays. So the next thing that I want to talk about is your GPA. A lot of people went to college before the Army or earlier on in the Army and they didn't take it seriously, so they have low GPAs or just didn't really perform well in whatever class they're in. That's fine. Guess what? All you got to do is take some more classes, do good in them, and it's going to raise your overall GPA. So I'm not saying they're just going to omit what you did in the past, but there is a way to get that cumulative GPA up, and that's just to continue to do good. ACFT scores. Yes, I know we're in total soldier concept and all things make a great soldier, not just PT anymore, but just imagine they have 2 packets that are neck and neck and they're like, I don't know why I should choose this one over this one. A lot of times they're going to default to the PT score. Okay, these 2 are equal, they got high GPAs, they got good letters of recommendation, and their NCOERs have been spot on. How do we pick one over the other? Well, what's their PT score? This person got a 600, this person got a 540. Which one are they going to lean towards? Probably 600. So just try to always, not just max, but do your best in knowing that that could be the deciding factor between you and somebody else. Previous NCOERs, it matters. It matters. Like, people be like, oh, I hate somebody who's just out here chasing top blocker. They're only doing things so they get a good, whatever your philosophy is, that's your philosophy, but it is competitive out here. So you need to be acting like you go to work every day, trying to do good, but not only trying to do good, trying to make sure that you're doing more than everybody around you, because it could come down to your NCOERs. The last and final thing I want to say is following administrative instructions. Every program that you can apply for has so specific instructions. That Milgram message that I told you tells you step by step how to fill out every piece of paper they want, how they want it written. They'll give you formats, they give you templates. And I can guarantee you that if you submit a packet that's got something administratively wrong or something that they didn't tell you to do, like, oh, you're like, oh, I filled this form out before, so I'm just gonna do it my way, like a 4187. No, follow the directions on the Milgram messages and the instructions that they give you. Because if you don't follow instructions on that application, I can tell you right now, once they get to going through it, yours is going to the side. It's going to the pile over there that's not ready, because yours is not board ready because you didn't follow instructions. So just pay close attention to all that. And lastly, prayer. Pray on it. But I hope this helps. And if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. Again, this is just my analysis. They don't submit or put out any type of board AAR, none of that. I know the IPAP program, they used to send out a trends report like, oh, we chose so many people that had a high science GPA, or this many people were prior service and all that, and they don't even do that anymore. So it's tough out here, but you really have to have the total soldier concept in terms of your packet. You can't just think, oh, well, I got a master's degree. I don't know why they didn't pick me. No, because there's somebody out there with a master's degree, with a 600 PT score, with all top block NCOERs, with LORs from colonels and above, and his letter of intent was written like he's ready to be president, he or she. Okay, so you gotta come with it. So if you weren't selected, go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself, how can I make my packet more competitive? Because people around here are getting it. So y'all gotta go get it too. Okay? Peace.